It's a beautiful day for some more Reddit stories, and I hope you guys are having a good day today. It's going to be a fun time, and let's get straight into it. Am I the a-hole for ending my marriage because my partner wanted to make it an open one? Right, okay. My husband and I have been married for 4 years. Our relationship had its ups and downs like any other, but I always believed that we had a strong bond and shared a vision for the future. However, a few months ago, my husband brought up the idea of opening our marriage. He said that he loved me deeply, but felt that we could spice things up by exploring connections with other people. We hadn't even stayed together that long that we needed that. He said that it wasn't about lacking anything in our relationship, but about growth and exploration. I was shocked. I've always been monogamous and we'd never discussed anything like this before, even while dating. When we got married, we promised to be committed to each other. This felt like a betrayal of those vows to me. I told him I wasn't comfortable with the idea, but he kept on bringing it up, insisting that it could strengthen our relationship. Eventually, he said that he would respect my boundaries, but admitted that he might end up resenting me later for holding him back. That statement crushed me. It became clear that we were no longer on the same page about something fundamental. I didn't want to stay in a marriage where I'd always feel like I wasn't enough or worry about future resentment. So I decided to end it. Since then, he's been telling friends and family that I gave up on us too quick. Oh, the audacity. Some of our mutual friends think I should have tried harder to compromise. By doing what? How would you compromise? Or even give the open marriage a shot while others are supportive of my decision? Now I'm left wondering, am I the a-hole for ending my marriage over this? OP, I'm so sorry that you've got people in your life that are making you question this. No, you're not the a-hole, not even a little bit. And get rid of those people who are saying that you should give the open marriage a shot. Yeah, like the top comment says, anybody telling you to open the marriage to give it a shot isn't a mutual. They're his friends. No one who's actually your friend would tell a monogamous person that they need to stay married to somebody who wants to bang other people. Yeah, that's completely right. And like the second top comment says, you can't compromise on this. You're either monogamous or you're not. I think you did the right thing, as every argument would have been, well, if you had let me sleep with other people, I wouldn't have done X, Y, Z. Yeah, not the a-hole. Yeah, that's so unbelievable. How are you meant to compromise on something like this? Like, what's the compromise gonna be? Okay, you can bang one person a month, but no more. Like, yeah, that's not gonna work. This comment says, you do realize to him that open marriage means he gets to bang around all he wants to, while still having you on the side. But the moment that you actually find somebody, he'd be all for closing it off again. And sorry, you're not the one giving up on the marriage. Yeah, that's such a good point. He's the one who's not taking his vows serious, not the a-hole, and give him the choice. Either you two go to marriage counseling, or the marriage becomes so open that it's non-existent. OP said he refused counseling, plus I already ended the marriage. Yeah, you did the right thing, OP. I was thinking that too when people were saying that you gave up on your marriage too fast. No, wait, he said that. Yeah, since then, he's been telling friends and family that I gave up on us too quick. Bro, OP's not the one who gave up on the marriage? God, that's so infuriating. Oh, you gave up on our relationship too fast, says the guy who wants to bang other people. What are you talking about? Yeah, you did the right thing, OP. Post number 2 is called, am I the a-hole for telling my mum and biological father I'll always pick my dad over my biological father because my dad is my real dad? When I 17 male was 7 and my siblings were 9 and 10, we found out that our mum was cheating on our dad. She wanted to leave dad and told him that none of us were his kids. She told us too. She said that the guy she was leaving to be with was our real dad and that we should all be a family. Dad said that we were his kids and that we'd do a DNA, but it didn't change how we felt about us. My siblings got lucky and dad was their biological dad, but the other guy was mine, which really messed me up because I hated knowing that I was connected to this random dude. And mum got what she wanted by having at least one of us be this guy's kid. I know she would have preferred all of us, but even just me seemed to make her so happy. Dad was on my birth certificate and fought to have 50-50 custody of me like he had my siblings. I think my siblings being his worked in our favor with the judge deciding on this unusual custody battle, and dad sharing custody of all 3 of us. My mum and Vince, what I'll call biological dad, hold on a second, no, fought the decision and they got a guardian ad litem involved and somebody from CPS or something. The decision was the same. It was agreed to be the best outcome for me by the new people involved. Mum and Vince did everything to try to win me over to Vince, and they tried with my siblings too, but mainly me since Vince didn't really care about my siblings since they weren't his biological kids. None of us wanted to be with them, but we had no choice. We didn't make it pleasant for them, and I never tried to accept Vince as my dad. That was something I was told by my mum that I should do, but I always replied that I have a dad, and Vince would never be him. I never choose Vince over my dad, even though Vince has tried very hard to create an our thing with me. Sorry, it's tripping me out reading my own name, but I was so clear that I was not giving him a chance. It's a fight that never ended. I tried to use that a year ago to get a judge to agree to let me stay with dad, but he ruled that I have to go until 18 or dad can face fines or lose custody. I might stop going a month before I turn 18, since they won't make it before a judge before then, but I also also might keep going for Dad's sake, because I don't want him to be punished for this more than he already was with his wife cheating, and finding out that one of his kids wasn't his biologically. Mum and Vince brought it up again last week. Vince had wanted me to go on the fishing weekend with him, and I didn't go. He got upset, and Mum was upset for him. They said that I'd go for Dad, and I said yeah. Then they said that I picked Dad over Vince. I said yeah. They complained, and I said I always will because he's my real dad, not Vince. I said Vince will never be my dad. I told them they can't change how I feel. I said they blew up my life when they made me biologically not my dad's, and I'd never forgive. I also said I'm not a toy that Vince can take out once he wants to. They tried to lecture me about it, but I walked away from them, and I kept walking away from them when they kept on saying how crappy I'm being. Am I the a-hole? Okay, that was so weird to read a post that had my name in it. But no, you're not the a-hole, OP. Your mum and Vince are. The top comment says, not the a-hole. You're handling this appropriately and very maturely. In no way are you the a-hole. The comment below that says, you're not the a-hole, but your mum definitely is. The one below that says, poor real dad. Wife been cheating on him through 3 kids. This Vince guy sounds like a complete butthole too. Tries to take away real dad's place, but only when it's convenient for him. Yeah, and also the one below that, the fact that his dad didn't abandon him after finding out about the DNA speaks volumes. Yeah, you're not the a-hole even a little bit, OP. Your mum and Vince suck. Like this comment says, not the a-hole. Sometimes DNA means nothing. In some cases, dad is the one who raised you, not the sperm donor. Of course, that's not true all the time, but in your case it is. The next one says, am I the a-hole for refusing to hand over my grandmother's jewelry to my cousin, who was promised it first? My grandmother passed away last year, and she left me, 24 female, a beautiful jewelry collection in her will. Growing up, I was very close to her, and we spent countless weekends together where she'd let me try on her pieces. It always felt like our little thing, so when she left them to me, I was deeply touched. Here's where it gets complicated. My cousin, 28 female, let's call her Emma, insists that my grandmother verbally promised her the collection years ago, even though there's no mention of her in the will. Emma claims the jewelry is hers by right because she was the oldest grandchild and used to model the pieces during family events when she was younger. She's even told everybody that my grandmother's decision must have been a mistake or made under pressure. Yeah, but probably not, and it doesn't matter anyway. It says in the will that you're gonna get the jewelry, so you're gonna get it. Emma called me last week demanding that I hand the jewelry over to honor what she says was my grandmother's real wish. I said no, and she called me selfish and accused me of stealing what was meant for her. The family is now divided, with some saying that I should just give Emma a few pieces to keep the peace. Oh, keep the peace. Oh my God, I'm so sick of reading about people wanting to keep the peace. No, don't give her stuff to keep the peace. And others are telling me to hold my ground because the will was clear. Yeah, those people are right. Emma is now posting passive-aggressive messages on social media, making me out to be the villain. Who cares? Do whatever you want, Emma. I feel terrible because I don't want to cause family drama, but I also believe that my grandmother knew exactly what she was doing when she left the collection to me. Am I the a-hole? No, and you're not the one who's causing drama. You don't need to feel guilty here, OP. You're not causing drama. Emma is. You're going off what the will clearly says, and there's nothing Emma can even do about it. And Emma needs to accept it. Emma's the only person causing a fuss and creating drama. You're not causing any drama, OP. And also the fact that Emma has the audacity to go onto social media and to be posting passive-aggressive stuff about you. Emma's the a-hole here, OP. The top comment says, not the a-hole. It sounds like your cousin is trying to scam you out of it, since her only excuse is that she verbally promised it to her. Your grandmother left it to you in her will, which would have taken at least a little bit of consideration. So even if she did promise it to her years prior, she still ultimately decided to give it to you. Yeah, the grandmother did not want Emma to have these. And also, Emma might be completely making it up. Like Emma also might not be making it up, but Emma definitely might be making it up. And then for Emma to go to bloody social media posting passive-aggressive stuff towards OP. Grow up. Oh my God. Yeah, like this comment says, you aren't the one causing family drama here, not the a-hole. Okay, we're shifting gears a little bit here, and we're gonna go to entitled people. We all know how fun it is to read about entitled people. This post that we're gonna read today is called He Tried to Take My Airline Seat and Lost. I was traveling to Las Vegas to meet up with some friends, and I pre-booked my seat. With this airline, they do charge extra for certain seats. I chose a window seat with extra legroom due to my disability, which cost me an additional $45. When boarding, there was a man in my seat with another in the aisle seat. The middle seat was open. I checked my seat number and then politely politely told the man that he was in my seat, and I asked him to move. I'm a petite female, and both men were about 6 foot tall and over 200 pounds. When they opened their mouths, it definitely appeared like they were trying to use their size to get their way. The man in the aisle immediately told me that the man at the window didn't have to move, and I could sit in the middle. After all, he said, I shouldn't make a scene about it. That really pissed me off. I didn't raise my voice, and I was super polite. I said I wasn't making a scene, but I was asking nicely for the seat that I paid for. That's when he stood up and attempted to physically intimidate me. But here's the thing, I worked in frontline healthcare. I'm used to men attempting to use their size and mouth to intimidate, and this behavior does not work on me. So I decided to take another tactic. I turned my head to the man in my seat and I told him that I'd make him a deal. He gives me $50 cash and I'll give him my seat. I told him that I paid an additional $45 for the seat, and with tax it should be around $50. He gives the money and the seat would be his. This is when he turned to me in shock and said, you want me to pay you $50 for your seat? I answered, oh, so you're admitting that you knew this wasn't your seat? I'm gonna call the airline staff so they can take you to your seat. After all, I booked this seat due to me having a disability, which is true, and you are trying to steal it. Everybody around us turned to look at him, and they did not have kind looks on their faces. He turned 14 shades of red and moved to the middle seat. He put his hoodie over his head and sulked for the rest of the flight. His friend did the same. The moral of this story is simple. Don't use size and gender to bully others. It may backfire on you and make your next flight a lot less comfortable. Yeah, like this comment says, what a hideous head. The don't make a scene comment would have made me physically combust, so they would have got my seat anyway. The audacity. Yeah, like, oh, come on, don't make a scene. You know what? Actually, I feel like I will. Once again, that is so infuriating. Is that all that we read about? Infuriating stuff? The next one that we're going to read is called, Am I the a-hole for telling somebody, can you let me finish my thought for once? There's a guy that I work together with, Ian, 25 male, at one of my side gigs, community theatre. We've known each other for about 2 years. We work with directors on casting and help provide acting coaches to cast members. I get along all right with Ian. We've never hung out outside of work, but we have shared some laughs and had good conversations. One thing that he does a lot is interrupt people. He does it to pretty much everybody, so I know that he's not singling me out or anything, but I always did find it kind of off-putting when he'd do it to me. I've never called him out on it before, but it does make him kind of annoying to talk to. Last weekend, me, him, and the director of the play that we just held auditions for were discussing how that we were going to cast the show. Ian had very strong opinions about who should be cast as who. At one point, the director turned to me and asked who I thought should play the lead role. I thought the best person to play the lead role was a guy named Emmett, and I started explaining. I think Emmett seemed super well prepared for his audition, and his delivery and pacing were really impressive. His movement during his monologue was also really well done, and he seems really comfortable on stage. Right then, Ian cut me off and said, yeah, but his acting is what's problematic. He didn't really embody the character or seem to understand the role all that well. Admittedly, I was not in a great mood that day. As Ian was explaining more of what he perceives to be the problem with Emmett's acting, I said, can you let me finish my thought for once? Ian went silent and I continued to explain why I thought Emmett was a good fit for the part. We wrapped up our discussion about 30 minutes after, and as Ian and I were leaving, he asked me why I quote-unquote snapped at him. I said that I wanted to explain my opinion, but Ian said that his issue was me saying for once. I told him that I said for once because he frequently interrupts me. Ian responded that if I had an issue with him interrupting in the past, I should have said it before and not bottled it all up until now. Am I the a-hole? Nah, you're not the a-hole, OP. That's so frustrating when people do that. And yeah, you could have said something in the past, but you know, that probably wouldn't have changed anything anyway. In the future though, definitely bring it up every time it happens. The top comment says, not the a-hole. This is one of my biggest pet peeves in life. Ideally, you would have brought it up to him before now, but I'm guessing that you're not the only one to have snapped at him for talking over the mid-sentence. I've had to do this with co-workers and friends and relatives. It sucks to get to this point, but normal social cues of continuing to speak when somebody tries to interject, asking somebody to hold on for a moment, and just general annoyance when they display this behavior aren't always picked up by the interrupter. You're in a hard situation because if you bring it up to him one-on-one, you're now singled out as the one with the problem with him, not him having problematic behavior that needs correcting. If you're going to talk to him about it, I'd suggest getting a few other people to be there to confront him about it. Don't hold your breath for change though. Yeah, definitely. And the comment below that says, not the a-hole. In a perfect world, you would have and could have, but in a perfect world, he wouldn't be such a self-absorbed jerk. You stood up for yourself when you should. His only issue is he got too used to steamrolling you, and this was how he was trying to save face. Since he does want to know, now let him know when he does it. You may see more people calling him out on it as well. Yeah, that's a good point. And this one too, not the a-hole. He sounds like an a-hole because he was blaming you for not telling him sooner, as if he doesn't know what's not okay to do. It's not your job to teach people stuff that their parents didn't bother to. Yeah, you're not the a-hole, OP. The next one says, am I the a-hole for kicking my boyfriend out because he didn't take me to my oral surgery? I recently had oral surgery to get my wisdom teeth removed removed, and I needed a designated driver. I asked my boyfriend if he could take me, and he said that he'd find out if he could. Over the past few days, he seemed excited about the idea, even joking about wanting to see how I'd act under anesthesia. Fast forward to this morning, the day of my surgery, I asked him if he was still going to take me, and he said no. He told me that he needed to get a haircut for a presentation that he's got tomorrow. As the rubric says, he should be well groomed. For context, I think his hair already looks fine, but he said that he doesn't like it. Luckily, I had a backup plan and I asked another friend to take me, but I was still really upset. I told him that I wanted him there and I was hurt that he backed out at the last minute. He told me it wasn't his obligation to take me and pointed out that I had other people who could step in, so I shouldn't be mad. I feel conflicted. I get that it's not technically his obligation, but I also feel like as my boyfriend, he should want to prioritize something as important as a medical procedure over a haircut. At the same time, I understand his perspective that he needs to feel confident and professional for his presentation. We were talking about it when I was dropping him off to classes, and he said that I was being dramatic, so I kicked him out of my car. Am I the a-hole? No. Why couldn't you do both? How long does it take him to get a haircut? Take your partner to their surgery and then get a haircut. Oh my god. Yeah, you're not obligated, dude. But OP, you're 100% right. Like this comment says, not the a-hole. The entire point of romantic relationships is that they're not obligated. I'm not blood related to you, but I choose you to be by my side on this journey. They'll be good, they'll be bad, but for however long we choose, we will be each other's person, providing some combination of support, comfort, love, physical affection, help and child rearing and financial entanglement, and or caring about each other. None of these are required. How we assemble them will create a relationship unlike any other that is solely ours. To be honest, he sounds pretty selfish. I'd kick him out of more than just my car. Yeah, well said. And also, he didn't tell you ahead of time. He told you when it left you no time to sort something out. Luckily, you already had a backup, but what if you didn't? Like this comment says, not the a-hole. It's not your obligation to be his girlfriend either. Being in a relationship is about doing stuff that you're not obligated to do. Also, if he changed his mind and wasn't going to do it, he should have at least told you so you could make other plans. Yeah, but what, OP's being dramatic? Yeah, like thanks boyfriend, you're so supportive. Didn't even let OP know with enough time to make other arrangements. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. The next one says, am I the a-hole for paying off my wife's student loans, but not my sister's? I, 34 male, recently came into a significant amount of money, so I'm using a throwaway account. It's life-changing for me and my family. I've been married to my wife, 32 female, for 5 years, and we've been working hard to pay off her student loans, which were around 65 grand. She's always been super responsible with her finances, but the debt was a big stressor. With this windfall, I decided to pay off her loans entirely. It felt like the right thing to do since we're building our life together and we share finances. She cried when I told her, and it's been a huge relief for both of us. Here's where things get complicated. My sister, 29 female, also has student loans, about 50,000. She found out about what I did for my wife and asked if I consider helping her out too. While I love my sister, I don't feel the same responsibility to pay her debt. She's always been more casual about her finances, taking trips and buying expensive stuff despite having loans. I told her I can't help her right now as I want to save the rest of the windfall for our future, house and kids and emergencies. Now she's upset and saying that I'm playing favorites, especially since we grew up in a family where we help each other out. My parents are also weighing in saying that I could at least pay part of her loans to keep the peace. Oh my god, again, keeping the peace. I feel like I've been fair. This money is about securing my future with my wife. My sister isn't entitled to it because we're related, but now I'm second guessing myself. So am I the a-hole for paying off my wife's loans but not helping my sister? No, I don't think so, OP. Also, you didn't say how much money that you're talking about. Like if it was an obscene amount of money, like where you'd barely notice if 50 grand disappeared, then yeah, of course you could help your sister out too, but it doesn't sound like that's the situation. I'm getting the sort of vibe here that if you did pay the 50 grand for your sister, that you wouldn't really have a lot left, but also we don't know because you didn't say. But yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. You and your wife are financial partners. It only makes sense that you'd pay off her debts as well. Your sister and you are not. Yeah, like you even said, OP, you and your wife share finances. Of course you're going to want to pay that off. And once again, the parents are going on about keeping the peace. And also, like this comment says, not the a-hole. Your wife is supposed to be your favorite. Yeah, 100%. On that note, I feel like that's enough for today. That was such a fun episode, and I hope you guys had a good time today. Let me know down below if you did. This is the wholesome meme for the day. My boyfriend and his dog give each other a hug every morning, and I happen to be behind him on the stairs this time. That is so cute, isn't it? I love that so much, and the dog's so cute. Like, oh, time for our morning hug. That's so beautiful. Thank you all for watching once again. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed and you want to see more episodes like this, make sure you subscribe if you're not already. And the comment of the day goes to It's Leah Florence. I haven't been watching YouTube a lot lately, so now I'm happy because I've got 4 weeks worth of Vincey videos to binge. Oh, Oh, that's so awesome. I really appreciate the support and I hope you enjoy the episodes. 4 weeks worth of videos. That's a lot of videos. Make sure you take some breaks in between. I feel like I can only handle a 20-minute episode sometimes. Like, I would like to do longer episodes, but sometimes it is too much with the stuff that we read. But yeah, I've definitely been thinking about doing some super fun long episodes. I want to do episodes that are like really, really long stories, but I can't find any. Do you guys know of any stories that are like super long? I read the Wolfbeard saga like years and years ago. I almost want to do a video now where like I revisit that and I read all of that again. Like some really long fun stories so we can go on an absolute adventure in an episode. Maybe I should just start making videos where I read novels or something. We just straight up start reading books on the channel. That would be fun, but I don't feel like that's a very good idea. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you for the support, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!